We are using an AI coding assistant called GitHub Copilot in this course to learn how to code for network automation. Just a moment of silence for how my video routine has changed since having baby dev. I'm kind of coming out here and yeeting it, so I'm doing my best here, people. So like I said, GitHub Copilot is an AI coding assistant, meaning that it's a specialist, it's been trained on code, don't really care about your opinions on it, you just need to learn one for now. And if you've been following my work for even just a year now, and you've watched my past Cisco Live presentation on introducing you to GitHub Copilot for scripting, I need you to a little bit wipe that out of your brain, and that is because GitHub Copilot has changed drastically in the last year, and fortunately for me as well, because I've had to relearn things in order to teach this course, because it took me so long to put out the course. So some of what you learned is still relevant, some of it has changed. So let's dive in. GitHub Copilot shares similarities with a lot of other AI coding assistants, and it also has a few special features that I think make it worth using, at least worth knowing about, knowing how to use. So the three features of GitHub Copilot are its actual chat functionality, which you're familiar with. That's basically every AI coding assistant has this functionality where you just kind of type in a prompt and you get an answer. These answers are more likely to be accurate or to be what you want because they've been trained on code. Quality of your prompt is going to matter, but that's how the chat feature works. Then the part that is brand new with GitHub Copilot and is coming out with other assistants well is agent mode. As I mentioned in the last video, that is where you are going to provide some instructions or some skills to the agent. You might do some initial prompting or some prompting here and there, but it's basically going autonomously. So that will be covered in the next level of this course once we've actually learned the foundations and we have used AI to warp speed our learning. The last feature of GitHub Copilot that is, I think, probably kind of unique to GitHub Copilot is GitHub Copilot CLI. So previously, I did not cover this in past presentations because the CLI wasn't that useful. It was just used for like interacting with GitHub, and we have Git for that. I don't know. I didn't see it. I know it's the CLI, so you guys are probably going to love it. Maybe you like it more than Git, but I am going to cover that later in this level because it has become a lot more useful. A couple of other unique features about GitHub Copilot are that it's interactive or integrated with GitHub. So that is useful because so many people are either hosting their code with GitHub or GitLab. And so to have an AI coding assistant that not only can help you generate the code, but can help you generate commit messages. Remember, when we're pushing our code to someplace, we have to push it with a message that says what we actually did or what changed. So GitHub Copilot has features for that. Probably some of the features with GitHub Copilot's integration with GitHub are not going to sound as juicy to you until you are doing this in an enterprise environment or doing it for work because it involves like teamwork. But just know that that integration exists, and that's kind of nice, right? It's kind of nice when our tools work together. The other thing that is really nice about GitHub Copilot is that unlike other coding assistants, like let's say Claude, which this is not any shade on Claude. I have recently started using Claude Code. I love Claude in general, love Claude. If you use Claude, you have the choice of their models. When you use Copilot, you get the choice of multiple models. Now, not all these models are free. Again, that is different as of a year ago. They used to be all free, I believe. Now you have to pay for some, but there is free models. And yeah, I mean, that's cool that you can use Copilot as the shell with its additional functionality and features, but that you can, choose the model that you like or that you're willing to pay for. All right, so let's get into it. I am going to attempt to narrate this without looking at it. So every AI coding assistant that's worth their snuff right now is integrated within your developer environment, right? Because if you have to leave the developer environment to do things, you're going to get lost, you're going to waste time. It's just, this is 2026. We're not doing that anymore. GitHub Copilot has an extension. This is how you install it. I am hopefully showing you that right now in the video. It's a really easy install process. It takes maybe 30 seconds. Remember in previous videos of the course that we know where to find our extensions in the developer environment, which is basically the tools that we want to work with within the developer environment, using this little icon in VS Code, which is the developer environment we're using. And we can just search for it because it's really popular. Okay, so now that you have it installed, this is how you open it in the developer environment. And hopefully you'll notice that it has that chat functionality at the bottom. That's gonna be where we're gonna be working for this level of the course. Please, please, please. I know it's tempting, but please do not play with agent mode yet. I promise it is so cool and we're going to get to it, but you are really screwing yourself over if you just jump straight to agent mode. If you're trying to build an app, quick side tangent here, if you are trying to build an app and like escape the rat race and whatever, I understand it. Go for it, I guess. You're going to run into issues later, but go for it. But if you are actually trying to gain the skill of coding or network automation for a job or for the future of network engineering or really wherever you want to go in tech, you are not going to learn much by using agent mode. You might learn something since you are currently starting from the ground up right now and don't have a lot to work with, but you're not going to learn what you need to know. People don't put on job descriptions, knows how to use AI to generate code, right? They put Python or Bash or whatever. Keep your eye on the prize here, guys, okay? This is not just about who gets there fast. It's who gets there kind of fast, but actually knowing their crap. So anyway, we can toggle our view here to see GitHub Copilot or put it away if it's in our way. I think you can also use Command I and Control I to pull it up within, it's called pull it up inline or within where you're coding. If you're just, looking to ask a question really quick there, or you want to have the context of that particular line of code. But anywho, let's open the code that we have so far and just kind of play around and see how GitHub Copilot works. You're going to notice that there are code suggestions, right? When I move my cursor throughout the file, it will try to predict what is coming next. Now, this is going to be more accurate the more code that you have in the file, and it's going to use the context of what's around the file to try to make this prediction. So every time that you go to ask Copilot a question, and every time that you try to auto prompt a suggestion like this with the cursor, there's a good chance that you're not going to get the same answer every time, even if it's just slightly different. And again, that is because these AI models are predicting what you want next. This is a probability of what should be there, not, oh, here's the answer. This isn't whatever. I don't know. We're not getting into the theory of it. I'm trying not to bog you down. And that is literally it, guys. That is all I wanted to show you. Every time you ask a question, it's going to ask you, do you want to accept code changes if code changes came with that answer? When you ask a question, that doesn't mean code changes will come with will come as part of the answer. But again, in this course right now, just temporarily, I don't want you to take those code changes. I don't want you to copy and paste the things it tells you to. Please just use it for learning. I think you're going to be really impressed with how quickly you're going to learn these concepts using AI. And there isn't another course out there like this. At least it's pretty new if it is. There wasn't when I started this course, at least. It's taken me freaking forever to make it. But you can type into the search prompt area anything you want, any question you have, anything you want to know more about, just like you would ChatGPT. I think the majority of us who are in this course have probably at least played around with ChatGPT, but just in case you haven't, you can type natural language questions. I could just type a word in there and it will ask me clarifying questions to try to get a sense of what it is I want to know about this word or this term. But I talk to it like I would a fellow engineer or like I would a mentor or teacher. And so I ask it questions like, walk me through, I ask it simple questions, first of all, like, oh, what is a variable again? Things you're reviewing right now in this course, or where are the variables in this code. But you can also ask it to talk you through more complex thought processes, which is really cool because again, we are learning how to think in this course, right? We are learning how to think. AI is going to help you remember things too, so you don't have to just memorize crap or sit and be stuck on a concept forever, but it's going to help you truly learn how to think through some complex engineering scenarios. I know this is AI, right? You should question, you should validate everything that you read and see and hear, but a lot of this is stuff that us developers didn't have access to unless we trial by fired it. The developer world is not all that friendly. People will tell you otherwise. This is just my take. I don't think it's that friendly. And so if you wanted to learn how to better organize your code, if you wanted to learn how to scale your application or your automation, if you wanted to learn how to make it more secure, I don't know, if you just wanted to learn how to code something you'd never coded before, it was really hard to find people who were both friendly enough and knowledgeable enough to help you. So having AI here, it's a pretty great jumping off point, and you can always verify it yourself when doing things in practice or whatever, when talking to a human. But an example of this in network automation could be something like, walk me through how I can use NetMiko to automate getting the show run of my Catalyst switches. I'm just making crap up here. It can be more complex, right? You might have a really complex idea at home because you're the domain expert here and just have no idea where to start, right? And you could walk through with Copilot, help me walk through what it would look like to build this, right? Don't just give me the code. Help me think through the steps it would take. What would it require to build this? That's something that I encourage you to go ahead and start playing with now, just to kind of get a sense of what it can do, and just because it's exciting. There are some limitations and caveats, and you're going to see these practiced in all the subsequent videos, so don't worry about a demo here. The quality of your response depends on the specificity of your prompt. I'm going to repeat that again. The quality of your response depends on the specificity of your prompt. So the more specific you are about what you want, the better of an answer you're going to get. And that is in terms of learning, right? Again, we're going to add even some more caveats when we start generating code from AI. But if you want to learn, the more specific you can be, the better. And also, if you're kind of using AI to go down a learning rabbit hole, the more questions you ask, the better. So again, we're going to see this later, but just keep that in mind, that AI is not some magic wizard that just can figure out what you want. I will say that these companies are getting smarter, and they realize that people don't always do great prompts, and then people think that the models suck, the assistants suck. And so some of them have started asking questions. Like if you ask for something about something vague, it'll actually auto prompt you to select more questions, kind of like playing the game 20 questions to better understand what it is you're asking. That's pretty cool. Or they'll just ask you in natural language text, like, hey, did you mean this, or do you want more of that? So they are getting smarter about bad prompt engineering, but your prompt matters. But yeah, just trust this process, okay? Trust this process and this new way of learning. I think you'll be impressed. All right, guys, I just spent some time at a coffee shop learning GitHub Copilot CLI. I'm pretty impressed with a lot of the changes with it. And there is a way to query it so that it is only used to explain concepts to you and not used to just generate code for you. However, I'm opting to hold off on the GitHub Copilot CLI explanation until level 3 because it's really been developed to act as an agent, which is, which acts autonomously, and that's not what we want at this level of the course. So, yeah. Coming soon.